Okay, let's try this again. So day 2.2 of the daily celebration, the daily stream celebrating how to become a data scientist, a guide for established professionals. A moment ago, I think I had a glitch. So this was the glitch, and there now I see that we are actually live. So welcome to day 2 of the daily stream. Yesterday, I introduced the daily stream. So this is a daily stream for probably 5, 10, n number of days. I'm not really sure how it'll unfold. We'll find out. Probably just it'll go until I run out of topics to celebrate how to become a data scientist, a guide for established professionals, share information from the book, help readers of the book connect with each other. So if you're with me on Twitter, give a reply. If you're with me on Facebook or LinkedIn, give a comment, and then you'll be able to see who else is also interested in this topic, and you can connect with each other. So yesterday, I introduced the book. I did a short reading from the book. So if you missed that and you are interested in a little bit of a reading from the book, take a look at that. I also spoke about the agendas that we are going to have for the daily stream. So 1 or 2 giveaways over the course of these streams. We'll have Q&A sessions. If you have questions, you can send them to me and I'll answer them on the stream. Share information right from the book. I'm going to share lots of information right from the book. And there will be guest presentations, story time, lots of really good stories. As you can imagine, as a career coach and now author, I have plenty of stories to share. So if you're interested in stories about career success, career problems, trials and tribulations, this will be something for you to keep an eye on as well. And then who doesn't love a good ChatGPT demonstration? I'm sure we'll do a ChatGPT demonstration down here on the screen at some point. Not today, but we'll do a ChatGPT demonstration. Yesterday, I promised that I was going to talk about the history of the book, where the book came from, where the inspiration of the book was, where my inspiration was. And I started the book in the probably August of 2021. So in earnest, I really started writing in August of 2021. I also started researching book retreats because I wanted to be very efficient and I wanted to get the book done sooner rather than later. So if you're not familiar with book retreats are organized activities where folks will go to work with a group of other authors writing on a book and then writing coaches. I did a book retreat in Costa Rica in November of 2021. And then I continued working on the book all the way along until September of 2022. So in September of 2022, I had the book done. And then after that, you need to send the book into edits. And I had a structural edit. Actually, one of the really important editing stages of any book is the structural edit. I did my structural edit back in August when I thought August of 2022, when I thought the book was done, but it wasn't really done. The structural edit revealed that. The structural edit is, do you have all the right chapters? Are all the right chapters in the right order? Are all the major subsections in the right chapters? Are you going to have a preface? Are you going to have an introduction? Are you going to have a conclusion, etc.? I actually, in the structural edit in August of 2022, ditched an entire chapter, just cut the chapter out. I might do a special stream just on that chapter alone, the one that I cut out, the missing chapter, so to speak. So then the book was done in September of 2022, and then you need to go through several rounds of edits, more edits. So then you start looking at line edits. Line edits are making sure the paragraphs are paragraphs, the sentences are sentences. The paragraphs and the sentences are in the right order. Line edits are to make sure that your lists are formatted correctly, your spelling is good, etc. I did 3 rounds of line edits. A lot of books will do 2, minimum of 2, but I ended up doing 3. And then once the line edits are done, it's ready to go to a page editor. The page editor puts everything on the page, so everything will be laid out exactly how the book should be laid out. You make choices. Where do the page numbers go? So, for example, I put the page numbers here and here. What do you put at the top of all the pages, etc. It's an experience. So then the page edits, and then after the page edits is proofreading. So proofreading is your last chance to catch punctuation, spelling, really minor errors. I had the book done, proofread in January of 2023. The original launch date was going to be February of 2023, but I ended up, for logistical reasons, just pushing that back to April of 2023. And there it is. So this book came out in April of 2023. And I wrote the book because I was building materials to support my career coaching work. I help mid and late career professionals transition into data science. And I wrote the book I wrote a lot of the materials to support those clients. And then I started deciding, oh, wow, this could be the content of a book. Now, the process of reading and writing a book is different than the process of working through coaching materials. So for the book, I also created stories. I created characters. There are actual characters in this book. I'll spend one of the daily streams talking just about those characters. I created 3 characters for this book, and I'm very proud of those characters because those characters are examples of people who have transitioned into data science. So if you're looking for some inspiration, find the characters in the book. I'll talk more about that in just a moment here as well. So while the book is based on a lot of the materials that I built to support clients in the coaching practice, it is an evolution above and beyond that. On Amazon, I would encourage you to go ahead and so if you go to Amazon, you can find the book. You can also find the book on Barnes & Noble as well. If you go to Amazon and go to look inside the book, I know I've used this feature a lot over the years with other books. I encourage you to use this feature with my book as well. You can open the book and actually see inside. And one of the things you'll see here are the expert praises. So I'm very proud of these. Jordan Goldmeier, I've taken a lot of advice from him over the years. He is author of Becoming Data Head. He has another book coming out as well. I forget the title of it, but if you just Google for Jordan Goldmeier, you'll find his books. Christina KP Powers, she wrote about my book here as well. She has a book out recently called she's Second in Command, First in Excellence. And so this book, fascinating book, it's just about the people in an organization who are the lieutenant of the CEO, so to speak. Interesting, really interesting book. Nick Singh, you might recognize Nick Singh. He's co-author of How to Become a Data Scientist. I'm sorry, he's author of Ace the Data Science Interview and founder of datalemur.com. So if you're not familiar with Ace the Data Science Interview, that book is for pretty much folks at any point in their career. This book is really for folks who are much later in their career. Established professionals looking to transition into data science. I recommend for a lot of folks, I would recommend if you really just want to go the book route and transition into data science and you're a do-it-yourselfer, this book plus Nick's book is a fantastic way to at least get started on the process. So Nick did a review of my book. Stephanie Mullen did a review of my book. She's author of Hands-on Data Analysis in Pandas. I'm a huge fan of hers, and you should be too. Find her information. And then Frank Vigne, I'm a huge fan of Frank as well, co-host of the Data Driven podcast. He has a book. He has a few books out. He has another one coming out soon as well. His book is going to be about generative AI, ChatGPT as well. Then in Amazon still, you can see the table of contents for the book. So you can see the table of contents for almost any book these days on Amazon, which is very useful. I like to look at this and think about what chapters are good for who. So for example, the resume chapter. if you're looking to revise your resume, that chapter is going to be worth its weight in gold for you. One of the difficulties sometimes about asking for feedback on your resume is it's difficult to find folks who actually know how to write resumes, who have devoted professional efforts to learning how to write resumes, or find someone who reviews resumes on a regular basis in the recruiting process. It's difficult. It's difficult to find those folks. So the resume chapter is a structured and researched look at how to write a resume specifically for, now again, as the book is laid out, specifically for established professionals looking to transition into data science. So a lot of the rules or the guidelines that I present in this chapter, again, are rules and guidelines that I might not give to just anybody. I wouldn't, so I'll probably go into that actually. That'll be a really good topic for one of the daily streams. The difference in the advice that's good for established professionals and the advice that's good for newer professionals, there are differences, and I won't go into them now. We'll cover them in a future stream. And so again, the resume is the chapter for established professionals who are looking to transition into data science, enter or level up in the field. Another question I frequently get here when looking at the table of contents is, what's your favorite chapter? I've been told, Nick Singh told me when he was reading the preview copies, he told me that chapter 3 was his favorite. He didn't say it was my favorite, but he gave me some really specific feedback on chapter 3 that indicated it was probably one of his favorites. It's probably one of my favorites too. It's hard to have a favorite because it's like the chapters are like my kids. I shouldn't pick a favorite. They're all equally valuable and I love them all equally. I'm tempted to pick 9 as a favorite as well. 9 is the chapter where the book talks about negotiating salaries. And that's a fun chapter. It's a very fun chapter for me to write because I also leaned in heavily on all of the experiences that I learned in negotiation in my own established career. Also, my legal experience. They teach you to negotiate in law school, believe it or not. And then my legal career, I learned about negotiation. So bringing that into the salary negotiation stage or process of transitioning into data science. That was a fun chapter to write, chapter 9. But probably one of my favorite chapters is going to be chapter 8. Chapter 8 is, I call it communicating with employers. I like this chapter because this is, by the way, the chapter about interviews. And I didn't call it the interviews chapter. I called it the chapter on communicating with employers because my goal for this chapter, my goal for working with clients, and the advice that I give folks in general is reframe the process of communicating with employers. Reframe the process of interviewing as a dialogue, and then interviewing becomes so much easier to do. So much easier to do. And one of the reasons I like chapter 8 and 9 in combination is if you've done chapter 8 well, if you've communicated with employers well, you have that dialogue going strong, then the process of doing the negotiations, chapter 9, gets just that much easier also. So they build on each other. So tomorrow I'm going to do a 90-day plan. One of the resources I have that's not in the book, but I have this great resource that I make available just free generally. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about this 90-day plan for folks who are soon to be employed. And I don't say 90-day plan for the unemployed. This is 90-day plan for folks who are soon to be employed. It's full of advice for folks who are not working full-time, but are aiming for work in data science. And so it has advice that might not work as well for folks who are working full-time because the amount of time and energy and attention that it requires to get through my 90-day plan is extensive. So this is the 90-day plan for folks who are soon to be employed, folks who are not currently employed, looking for a job in data science, looking to enter or level up in the field. I'm going to share that information tomorrow. And I really look forward to sharing that 90-day plan with you in tomorrow's stream. Hope you had some fun. Hope you learned a little bit of something. And I look forward to seeing you in another stream.